Hello everyone, welcome back to Dark Heresy. For the next few sessions, Snippy is not going to be around. He is presently in hospital. We are all sending him our bests, because, would be pretty shit to not have him about anymore. But hopefully he'll be back within a few weeks. Now, in terms of the game, last time, you guys fought a giant brain. Big brain time is now over. You also shot a robot.
Technically, we didn't shoot the robot. A bunch of NPCs with command roles shot a robot.
See, there was a
Ceiko shot a robot.
Oh, that's
see,
true.
there was this robot, and it got shot, and there was all this big brain stuff. We were basically just an Asimov story.
Yeah, all of that happened, and you know what didn't happen is a space marine getting bullied into the closet.
Yes. One of the brain's final acts was to psychically influence Amelie to let go of all of her inhibitions and just start killing everyone to prove that she could. Fortunately, thanks to a fortunate instinct about what was afflicting her and the robustness of being a space marine, Renault was able to survive the encounter, though his armor was critically damaged and indeed much of it was carved off of him.
Like all good anime characters, she likes to narrate her motivations before doing the deed, which bought him just enough time.
Yes. That would have been interesting, Savin.
It would have been. But also, either way, I probably would have died.
I mean, attempting to summon a demon prince would have probably killed more than you.
Yeah.
Well, if you had any success in it. If you just tried it, then it would have just been you dead. But that hypothetical aside, Amelie has regained control over herself. Renault is not pleased with her, to put it mildly, but restrained himself from just shooting her in the head. And the ship's armsmen and Skitarii were, thanks to Orgi's skilled command, able to trap and eliminate the robot. So now I will move you onto the ship map. You will get... well, I believe you were all heading towards where the robot was taken down, yes?
Yes.
Alright. I'm just going to put Narcia in the passenger quarters for now. And untick Ceiko's sleepiness. Right. So... it made a significant effort to slip out of the net, but the grand scheme of things, it didn't actually get far before being pinned down. Now, as you your way through the little skirmishes that it fought trying to break out, all of you will be able to note no one's dead. There are plenty of grievous injuries, people who have lost hands or even arms, but as soon as they became combat ineffective, they were just left like that. Didn't actually kill anyone, not even the Scythiae, and they took a lot more to render ineffective. You doing triage, do you know?
Yeah, Juno's going to be trying to get Kazovac going up as soon as she's walking through.
Yes. And with that, yeah. It's not just that no one's dead. These injuries are remarkably easy to stabilize. They would kill them fairly quickly, but it's very, very easy to get the bleeding to stop. The cuts are clean, precise. And well within your abilities to just slap some gauze on and move along.
Wait, are you telling me that on top of everything, the strange woman was taking it easy on the soldiers?
Yes.
Great, so there's no victories today at all, is there? Now I have to question to see if we ate the right code.
Amelie, I would actually point out, you have significant experience in melee combat. This wouldn't be taking it easy on them. This sort of precise incapacitation without killing, that would take an awful lot more effort.
I know, that's why I'm saying that they took it. Okay, so I say they took it easy on him. But to be fair, to not kill anybody, especially our soldiers. Well, like you said, okay, out of character, like you said, yeah. In character, I know it would have taken way more effort not to kill him. So it's just like, well, shit. I'm understating it, but it's just like an actual well, shit. Well, now I have to actually question what they were doing.
Juno's just going to sigh as she continues bandaging people up, sending them to the med bays as we go. Yes, this thing very clearly didn't want to kill anybody.
How far ahead have I jetted Merzendi? Am I around?
You are basically at the final battle site already. They'll be... Everyone else will be like 5-10 minutes behind you. So yeah, you up there, yeah. Even when the Scythiae were bringing it down, didn't kill anyone. It disemboweled, it dismembered, it certainly cut weapons to shreds. But, well, Scythiae are pretty tough. And again, they are, these wounds are incapacitating but non-fatal. You'll probably take like a couple of weeks to repair all of their augments and get them recovered for fighting, but you should have a 100% recovery rate. Now, equally interesting is the Animus itself, Eloa. when it was finally cornered, energy weapons had limited effect on it. They scorched its exterior, but even a melter beam could not actually melt its hide. It's only repeated impacts that finally made it buckle inward, and the creature fell.
Well, time to begin extensive autopsy. Scanning. Scanning first.
Alright. Now you've just got it there. You can do a detailed scan. As Juno had said, it is etherically active. It seems that it has actual soul. Or at least enough of a psychic presence that your scanners can't tell the difference. And at high levels of voltaic charge, detect no true organic components. However, in its cranium there are you can detect how best to describe this. Within the cranium, its internal structure matches that of a human brain, or at least a humanoid brain, but it appears to be synthetic, but made in human shape. Now, you have depths of knowledge, so you are aware that in ages past, the time of the Crusade, some more libertine magi considered such things as acceptable. They are entirely synthetic brains, but they are made in the divine image, and as such were not seen to violate the prohibition on silica animus. Since the Mechanicum has grown wiser and outlawed such things, but dependent on how old this is, it may have been made by one who did not consider themselves a heretic, at least.
And now we come upon the classic Adeptus Mechanicus question. Is it old enough to be considered a holy relic because the wisdoms of the ancients is unassailable? What's the maximum of? I think that's one of the maxims. The abominable intelligence must be abhorred, but the wisdom, yeah, okay, let's see. One of the mysteries. Alright, and then the warnings. The soulless sentience, i.e. Necrons, is the enemy of all life. And, okay, warning 13. The knowledge of the ancients stands beyond question. So, Now, I suppose it falls to me to determine whether or not this comes from the golden age of technology and whether or not it's a man of iron.
Man of Iron. What is that exactly?
You're 10 minutes behind me. How dare you?
Yeah.
You're a slowpoke.
What are you talking about? I'm the
Tiny
fastest
little
one here.
legs. You're not actually.
My legs are long and feline.
You got tiny little stubby legs.
How dare
However,
you?
I would actually say doing a full and detailed scan of it will take you a bit. So, if Amelie is running ahead, she could definitely be getting there after you've done that first lot of scanning before you start actually dismantling.
Oh no, she started Naruto running.
So, is there any
Never
active
run.
anything at all left in this thing, or is it totally deaded?
It still has a etheric presence and voltaic charge by Eloa's standards, but it's not moving at all. And its chest plate is partially caved in. But the scanner can't. Your specs can't get an accurate picture of what's going on behind the chest plate. It looks vaguely like the construction of an actual human body, but also shifting, and there are things your scanner can't lock onto. They do not match. Yeah, they do not seem to match any known properties, well, any known materia. Though that may just be scan shielding.
Are the Necrons too new for me to depths of knowledge Necrodermis?
Almost
Yeah.
certainly not.
In 40k7, that
Yeah, I know,
humans
'cause-
consider them a new threat.
I know.
Because they just woke up on worlds that we had rightfully claimed.
Yes, the first recorded Necron incursion was 100 years ago.
So, potentially several hundred years ago, depending on how badly the Court of Cronus is fucked up.
Yes. Very, very possible, but it's there are also believed incursions going back 300 or 400 years. That may be Necrons, but the first one that is, this is definitely a Necron, this has definitely happened, we have full verification, was some Sisters of Battle being murdered 100 years ago.
Yay.
As is their wont. Thanks, GW.
I guess you could say all those Sororitas got boned.
Yes. If it isn't a if it isn't scan shielding, Necrodermis would be a possible fit. An arcane and living metal.
Alright, well, time to move all of this to a bay that can easily be vented into space and begin science with a capital S.
Yes. Sure. So, think everyone will be able to catch up to you when you head to the science airlock.
Yeah. With my special eyes, what do I see on El Roboto?
Oh, hey,
when I
Oa, you
arrive?
look like you're about to do a heck in science.
Have you been debriefed by Juno and Baltus yet?
Basically, the small bits.
What does Balti have to
Robot
do with
squint.
anything?
Warp incursion.
See what you did there.
I don't think this was an incursion, per se.
Her being possessed?
Oh. Right, yes. Her being incurred upon. She's fine.
I am better now, but I do not think that, well, he's going to be, well, Renault is going to be very mad at me for a very long time.
I can hardly blame him, but in the meantime,
Better than my fallback plan of riddling you full of bullets.
I would have taken that very personally and very lethally.
Eloa,
Hmm.
can you hold on a moment?
No.
Walk a little slower then so I can keep up.
Do you want to be
Oh.
carried?
I would prefer to actually walk on my own 2 feet. If I wanted to be carted around, I would have bought a wheelchair.
Wait, is this us walking fast? I thought we were purposely taking the time.
Shut up, I'm short. What do you want?
All the better for you to be adorable.
Actually, how tall is Juno? I don't think that's ever come up.
Like 5'5", 5'6".
That's not short.
Compared
That's
to
not-
fucking everyone else in this party, it is.
She's some power armor. She doesn't count.
I do not
All
remember how tall.
right.
I actually don't remember how tall Emily is.
So, if I can see this thing's soul, quote unquote, do I see any similarity between it and what I saw with Mary? Obviously not same shape, but sort of same vibes.
Are you vibe checking that?
Yeah, I'm vibe checking the robot, yes.
No.
Okay,
No.
well, that's good.
Where you saw, well,
I know what I saw.
with Mary, you saw through her glamour, really, to something. Here, no, this is just a bright moat inside the chest.
All right.
Oh, also,
And-
I'm going to disseminate orders to the legate for short-term memory wipes.
Yeah, it makes
Around
sense.
a short-term memory wipes for everyone. The legate didn't see it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Then he can keep his memories. Although my other option was to lock away his memories in case he really needs them. But since he didn't see it, doesn't matter. I need him to wipe all of the short-term memory for the past day for anyone who came upon the warp incursion to prevent the spread of corruption.
Yep.
Does that include me?
I mean, it probably should, but no.
I mean, the last thing I want is a space marine pissed off at me and for me to not even remember why.
Unfortunately, we can't write Reynolds memories. That would solve that problem. And Merz, this soul I'm sensing, I've seen plenty of servitors and shit rolling around. But this seemed like an actual like normal human soul, right?
It certainly has comparable strength. No, it's stronger and brighter than an ordinary human soul. Perhaps closer to an actual Ceiko in brightness. But it isn't radiant throughout the whole robot, it is just in the chest.
Okay. Could I don't know, would Cynicians help me kind of confirm whether or not this is like a mortal soul or something artificial?
If you want to try to reach your mind into it, you could.
Also, please select to know how much information about this you're relating to Eloa.
I relayed nothing because I'm trying to get the information right now.
I meant for what's coming up next, so I can.
Yeah. All right. Before Juno tries that, just gonna like reach up and take Eloa's shoulder. Hold on, Eloa. Stop 1 moment. This thing, there's a soul in there. It seems like a real one, humanoid. I don't know what's in its chest, and I doubt your scanners can pierce it, but
Eloa's just gonna stop rigidly and turn. Say that again.
there is a soul in this thing. To my eye, it looks alive, as bright as Baltus is, or my own.
As bright as Baltus the Psyker.
Yes.
I mean, how is that a surprise?
Baltus to engineering. Because the soul of a normal human compared to the soul of a Psyker is a candle to a bonfire.
I mean, of course, that thing came from the brain, did it not?
I don't think so. No, it was in some sort of pod. I think the brain formed around it. Perhaps.
Well, that brain was made out of all the other minds and flesh of our fellow brothers. It would make sense that whatever that was, it combined. Well, I guess in this case, their soul.
Baltus to engineering immediately.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to bring me and my wife over there.
I would really recommend not doing that.
I'm just gonna send a. What's going on?
Baltus, there's some psychic bullshit going on. Given your condition, I would strongly suggest you stay where you are.
No, I must have a secondary source. If what you say is true, then warnings 10 and 11 have the criteria for warnings in 10 and 11 have been met.
What are those warnings?
Warning 10, the soul is the conscience of sentience. Warning 11, the soul can only be bestowed by the Omnissiah.
Hold on. Just give me a moment. Let me try and get a better idea of what we're dealing with. If I start acting suspicious, pull me away. And yeah,
Baltus immediately.
I mean, immediately it's still gonna be what, 30, 40 minutes?
Like 5-10.
Okay.
Depends how fast you walk.
Well,
Power
I mean,
walk, damn you! Power
I-
walk!
I also have my wife.
Power walk!
Yeah, that's why I don't want you coming.
Yeah.
I will have you dragged by Scutari if need be.
Okay.
Okay, Jesus Christ. So me and Mora start like I can't emphasize enough. It's me and my pregnant wife. And you know what? I'm just gonna bring. You know what? You want another source? Okay, I'm gonna bring not only me, my wife, but all the psychers down there. That's because I'm also babysitting the
Astropaths.
This is
The
gonna be a
astropaths.
shit show.
Yeah.
They're only a little drunk.
Sure, for the Emperor.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's not a crit fail anymore, so
Yes, Baltus. They are starting to sober up a bit.
Nothing like a light jog.
Yeah, Juno. You try to connect with it, try to glean more, but it's this isn't a manifestation. Well, this isn't a thing you've done much before. Just to say, actually licking souls. So you are not drawing on the most experience, and well, it's powerful. There is a consciousness in there, you can say that for certain, but beyond, you do not have the context to process the information you've gotten.
Juno's just gonna turn to Eloa and say, "It's a consciousness, powerful, intelligent, alive. The body is
So-
deactivated, but the mind remains."
Soulless sentience can be intelligent. I must know if it truly
It
does have
is
a soul.
a soul.
Dictates procedure dictates that I have more than one source to verify this information before going forward.
Well, it sounds like Balti and the entire choir are coming down here, so let's get somewhere secure.
Don't worry, they're sobering up. I know
So
those are
is,
words you
is
want to
Eloa
hear.
the one carrying the body, or does she have like some skitties doing it?
It's not being carried. It's being put. It was put on. I suppose a gurney,
Sled,
for
gurney,
lack
whatever.
of a
But
better word, and
I
just
guess, are you
strapped down.
propelling it or not?
It's being pushed by Scitarii while being aimed at by Eloa.
Okay. Juno's gonna glance around, grumble. A word out of earshot, please, Eloa.
Earshot, maybe, but I will not let it out of my sight.
Fine. I doubt its eyes are working for lip reading.
I'm wearing a helmet.
I'm not. Let the skitties get a little ways ahead and say, "Listen, I don't know if you've noticed that Moira's been clinging closely to Balti this whole trip, but something's wrong with the baby. I need them next to each other at all times, or..." Juno's just gonna, like, take a fucking spent bolter casing out of her pack and hurl it at Amy. Well, fuck off, Amy. We're talking here.
Usually you don't even see me.
She did the Skyrim stealth thing where she just crouched in the middle of the room and started crab walking over.
Oh no, she did. Oh, what's the character from? Fuck.
I'll please get us away
From
either way.
Yeah, it's the maybe a fast sense, though still.
Guardians
yeah.
of the Galaxy.
Listen, the point is, Baltus needs to stay next to Moira, like within arm's reach at all times. Moira can't be exposed to anything psionically active if we can avoid it. I'm very worried for their child. I do not want them near that thing. If it is psychically active, baby could be at risk.
This is in unavoidable consequence.
It is avoidable. Get another fucking psyker. We have several.
Nowhere near the psi level of Baltus.
I know, but still.
With
A
this
child is more
discovery,
important than your information.
the life of the child is meaningless compared to the wealth of information.
I know you didn't just say that to my face.
The existence of an artificial intelligence imbued with the soul granted by the Omnissiah is could shake the very foundations of the Order Mechanicus, and could be a tendril of not a tendril, a digit of the Omnissiah himself made flesh. Yes. Compared to this, I would burn out entire worlds for the knowledge.
She just slaps Eloa.
In the power armor?
Yeah, I'm wearing power armor too.
My statement stands.
Yeah, this, the clang. This is our friend's child you're talking about. Contain yourself for 5 fucking minutes.
And this information could be the redemption or damnation of the entire sector.
Yes. Which isn't going to help us very much if some demon comes bursting out of Moira's womb. We have a bunch of other psychers.
And yet I require the most powerful one to confirm.
No.
A psyker, a noble, and a inquisitor besides.
The risk is too great.
Logic dictates otherwise. Better telepaths than Baltus.
They're way
yeah,
better at this
Baltus-
than Balti.
Yeah,
Well-
Baltus is not a telepath.
Yeah,
Millionth
while
time.
he is significantly stronger, his power set is much more combat-based.
Oh, that's right. I meant to go down and pick up a few anti-demon shit. Oh, well.
Everyone has been thinking to themselves, man, I should have picked up more anti-demon weapons this entire cruise.
Yeah, I know, right?
I had the anti-demon weapon, but then it made me go use it against the Space Marine.
Yeah. Well, I
I
guess
had
you
the
shouldn't have been a demon then, huh?
I had the anti-demon weapon, but then it turned out to be a demon. Whoopsie!
That's...
Whoops, all demons.
It's okay. I have the anti-demon weapon too, but it's also a cell phone directly connected to Frank's butt.
He just butt dials you.
I mean, yeah, basically. Look, the ship has actual telepaths. They're better suited for this anyway. Use one of them. Baldy is a war psyker. All he does is punch things real fucking hard and throw fireballs. It's outside of his skill set anyway.
I have to mention that those are pretty important skills.
Yes, Balti is a very powerful and good psyker, except for the times when he makes the walls cry and summons horrible demon monsters. But setting that aside,
Very well. I will require no less than 5.
fine,
I will
take the whole
prepare
group.
I need a saline solution prepared with whatever drug. Insert drug here for hangovers.
Fine, I'll get to work. Thank you.
Ella will return to escorting the questionably abominable intelligence to a room that could be easily invented into space.
Yes, the science airlock.
Yeah, science airlock.
Whoopsie, all bad, press big red button.
And yes, so Juno, you going to tell Baltus that he and Moira can go back to the bridge?
No, I'm gonna let them catch up to me since I'm lagging behind now. Then I'll tell them to just, like, the two of them stay back, but give me the astropaths. I'll take them the rest of the way. I don't trust them wandering off on their own. No, Balti has, like, no telepath ability whatsoever. And he keeps saying it too.
Yeah, he has the other T powers.
Testosterone?
Yes.
No, no. Sipping, swirling, stepping, and exterminating the indigenes. The T powers.
Mhm.
Of course.
How do I unsubscribe from this fucking new thing? Oh wait, you can't because it's Windows 10. Eat shit.
At least it's better than the T virus. Although Balti would be best to continue the Chris Redfield line.
Once Balti catches up, Trotto clap him on the shoulder. Okay, I got Eloa to relent. Just you and Moira stay back. I'll take the astropaths the rest of the way. Their powers are better suited for this anyway.
Okay, but be careful.
Yes, very. Kind of turn to Moira, cock her head to the side, give a smile. Sorry about this. Eloa got a little excited. We'll take it from here.
It is alright. Did you kill the ghost?
Yes, we killed the monster. Everything should be alright now. We just need to make sure something that was inside it is properly taken care of one way or the other.
Hmm. Having found it inside a monster is not the best pedigree.
Well, that's what everyone said about my dragons, but here we are.
Indeed. I did not mean to suggest that we damn them out, just out of hand, but do be careful.
Oh yes, we will. And that is why I want to keep you and your husband out of harm's way. Now, Astropath friends, follow me please, and drink this, all of you. Frost.
Ah, and there is the existential dread returning.
Sorry, boys. We need your expertise a little too urgently for you to be wallowing in Drunkville. Come along.
They do. They are now a lot more grumbly.
The grumpiest of boys.
Hold on. Let me do the thing. Be happier, you
Alright.
cocksuckers.
You would have a negative 60 to that.
I still pass.
Yes. Yes, you can determine. They are very much uncomfortable here. They don't like it. The light of the Emperor is very faint, and the messages that they have gotten, well,
The light is
you know,
faint.
the idea of a giant time warp has certainly snuck into a few of them.
light of the Emperor's fate, and all the messages we do get are in Greek.
Would Baltus have noticed anything overall?
I don't think Baltus's psychic senses are sharp enough to perceive the Astronomicon.
Okay. Yeah, good point. Like I don't think I was ever tied like how they were. I'm not
Indeed,
sure.
you still have eyes.
Yes. So they have an extra sensitivity towards them than I would.
Yes. Yes. Eventually, they do cheer up a bit, and then start commiserating about how the poor navigator must be doing. She'll almost certainly be having it worse than them. Seeing the light is her only real gift.
I will make it a priority to go and try and cheer her up when we have the chance, but for now, unfortunately, we have work to do.
Just don't... Before we go back to real space, Captain, this is your first voyage, so... first voyage in command, so you probably don't know, but interrupting them while they're steering, you'd die and the ship would crash.
Right, yes. I meant once we get back to safe space, obviously. Which hopefully won't be too much longer, because this place is spoopy as shit. Anyway, speaking of things that are spooky, you're going to see something in here that is potentially unnerving, but have no fear, it is, at least physically right now, quite harmless. You should be in no mortal danger. We just need your sharp and telepathic senses for what is potentially a tremendous discovery for the Mechanicus. All we need you to do is take a look at something and tell us if it is really a living soul or not.
Alright. So in this case, they would have a 72% Psyniscience. Oh yes. Yes. They take a look. There is a lot of gasping. Lot of quiet discussion between them till finally one among them looks to Juno and Eloa. Oh yes, there is a soul in there. Or something like a soul. A concentration of etheric energy with spirit and purpose. But I do not believe it human.
Would you say it is more likely Xenos or something created through sorcery?
There is little distinction. His Xenos is abominable in the eyes of the Emperor, just as much as the spirits of this realm.
That is all I needed to know.
But I believe it at least began as something natural. Sorcery may have changed it, but I think it began as a living thing.
Thank you, gentlemen. Your expertise has been invaluable. Juno will kind of gesture to Amelie to take them back to the safety of their sanctum.
I will salute and do so.
I will turn back to Eloa once they're gone and say, well, there you have it. Once, at least, it was possibly human. Oh, I can imagine 600 years being trapped in the brain zone would have changed anyone. Especially that many warp trips.
I didn't sense overwhelming corruption when I scanned it, right? And they didn't reel from like the pure demonic corruption of the thing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to see corruption points. Do I detect like a big black spot like in Kiera?
No.
Yeah, Juno will nod and say, I sense no significant corruption. Not like those poor people touched back on Leth. And considering the way it treated the crew, given the circumstances, it may not be intrinsically hostile.
I have made my decision.
And that is?
I'm going to send a burst of information to the Legatus requesting materials, and I'm going to begin in earnest. Merzendi, I have.
What are you
Uh,
beginning?
I'm,
real
I'm,
quick?
I'm, yeah, yeah. I'm saying I'm gonna tell you what I want to, and justify it with the talent at the same time. Master Engine Seer, can I use this to create the best I can and ad hoc restraining for now to bind it as best I can, and then while and then the materials I'm requesting are the materials to create a Faraday cage.
Yes, you can just do that. It'll take you, including time for the materials to be brought, it'll take you about half an hour. But it's not long in the grand scheme of things.
Okie dokie, I will begin to get to work.
What does Eloa say to Juno? She's asking, what is your decision?
An unknown source, but likely human, now wholly synthetic. The soul is the conscience of sentience. The soul can only be bestowed by the Omnissiah. Sentience is the ability to learn the value of knowledge. The spirit is the spark of life. There
Sorry.
is only one conclusion I can come to.
Reciting dogma doesn't tell me anything. What are you doing?
I cannot destroy it outright. This is a mystery given by the Omnissiah, and it must be understood. It is being bound and contained.
All right.
It does not appear to be demonic in origin, and you say, and the telepaths say that it did not mention any overwhelming corruption, meaning that this may be a not the form of an Omnissiah, but one of his servants.
Hmm. So,
It would be much easier if it had no soul, or if it was simply a demon engine.
yes, yes.
These
yeah.
are wholly unknown waters. I must consult the ancient knowledge. Merzendi, I need to consult the ancient knowledge. Is there anything in depths of knowledge, forbidden lore, Adeptus Mechanicus to aid me in this endeavor?
What are you specifically looking for here?
So, aside from the dogma and the faith, I want to look back into our history of uncorrupted intelligences that have a soul. Specifically, Eloa is thinking that this may have somehow been a human who did the thing that she's been striving for all her life, apotheosis.
All right. Um,
TLDR, she's going to try to figure out whether or not this is the Omnissiah version of an Imperial Saint.
I I don't actually know if that's a thing you can just figure out for certain one way or the other. I just knowing the legends of apotheosis being a thing is about all I could give you, really.
Okay, I was just wondering if there's anything I can plumb, or if this is very much altogether unknown territory, even to the, well, probably not unknown to like the likes of the Lord's Dragon or the Fabricator General of Mars, but to somewhat of my ranking, anyways.
Yes, this is the realm of legends and theory and and like experimental possibility. This is the edge of understanding for the Mechanicum as a whole, if it is what you think it is. It is effectively the Holy Grail, if it is that, and it being that important and rare really means it's very hard to verify.
Yeah,
Because you have nothing to compare to. As far as you are aware, it's never happened.
this what this could be is what we refer to as the ultimate toaster. Wait, I have a thing for this.
Did we find Belisarius Crawl?
Something
We
close
might
to it.
Well,
Hey.
actually, yeah, one thing you are aware of, for certain, something that has been done is consciousness transfer from one body to another. Now, this body, it contains an artificial brain that seems to be a perfect match of an organic one. It would be, in theory, maybe possible for a Magos of sufficient skill to, instead of transferring to an organic brain, to transfer to a cybernetic brain that is a perfect match. But that would be, yeah, that would be maybe possible, but by the Omnissiah, very difficult.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is if it was a Necron, Eloa is very much a Puritan, and it's considered a soulless intelligence, which they are. This is not a Necron, and has been confirmed by not just psychers, but our spoopy witch sister that it has a soul and it's not corrupted. And by the very dogma by which she lives her life, there can only be one conclusion, though she dares not even dance upon the precipice of that.
What would that be?
throwing herself into completely believing that this is either a shard of the Omnissiah's will or someone who has attained perfect apotheosis, the entire goal of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Mm.
Because once you become, you truly discard all of your weak flesh and become part of the immortal machine, that's the entire goal. That's why we do this. You are a spooky witch sister.
No, I'm not. Juno's the least spooky person we know.
Yeah,
Resemble that remark. I am a witch.
She's a slooty witch sister.
She stabbed herself into the chest and turned into an Imperial Saint.
Yeah, that's like the least spooky thing you can possibly do is become an angel.
Does not compute. Beep boop bop.
It's because you're spoopy. Yeah.
I'm not. How dare you? I am not in the least bit spoopy.
Whatever, spider
Eloa,
lady.
Eloa says I was about to say. Eloa says as a spider crawls out of one of the ports on her arm.
Ooh.
He makes a compelling argument.
It does a little dance at the end of her finger.
So adorable.
Well, welcome back, Amy.
Yes, sorry. You guys trying to give me something from me?
No. Just saying hello. In fact, actually, Juno just kind of gesture to Amy, come over, whisper to her. Now that your head's on straight, you might want to go talk to Jeff. He seemed a bit disconcerted in your episode. Could probably use some reassurances. Juno's trying not to say he was a big, whiny, worried baby. But also that, yes. Whoop, I got teleported. Ah.
The
Oh, I was
teleporter.
muted.
Yes, you were.
That's why. I was saying, Jeff, we only just come together so soon. We've only just come together. It would be a sick twist of fate for us to be ripped apart so soon. But not unexpected.
Yes. So, not that I am the relationship guru or anything, but you should probably go have a talk with him. Nothing else, I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that you're feeling better.
That is a conversation I have no fear of having. It's mostly speaking to Reynolds again that I worry about. I can't tell if he is disappointed that my mind was taken over, afraid of me, or angry that I tried to kill him. Probably a mixture of all three. And I know I had.
I am sure he will find it in his heart to forgive you, and if not, at the very least, Mora can go yell at him until he submits again. But yes, go. Shoot. Talk to Jeff.
Well, I know when I'm being herded away when I'm being it, but I'm going to go find my husband.
Wait, did you two get married?
Oh, but I mean, it's only a matter of time.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Don't worry. When the wedding day happens, you'll know for certain.
Well, do let me know if you want to go kill another dragon.
Just make sure next time there are no demons. I don't know how you'll assure that, but I'm pretty sure you'll find a way. Hopefully you'll find a way. It seems we might be dealing with more and more of them. Once again, that's not even our order.
Oh yes,
Bye-bye.
I'm sure I can keep us all safe from demons. As soon as Amy turns away, she just glances up at Eloa like. After a moment goes by, Juno said, did I ever actually mention that Augie and I actually got engaged? I don't think I did.
It's certainly news to me.
It's true, we should all invite Frank to our weddings. He's a great
No.
guy.
This is the 5-head play.
Yeah, exactly. He's got an open schedule and everything. He's got like
If we
101
know-
years before he can get back to his plan anyway.
We'll know where he's going. We can plan perfectly for him. He'll be tracked by social convention.
I think that's basically what happened on Shindelgeist. So yeah, kind of. We summoned Frank to the wedding and just gaslight him into being one of the guests. Anyway, so yeah, Juno's just gonna do her thing of trying to reassure this intelligence that we're sorry we just hit you in the chest with a railgun. We'll get you back in a moment. Oh, I did notice Stray had stepped away.
I really had to pee.
No, it's okay.
Dr. Pepper giveth and Dr. Pepper taketh away.
That's them prunes for you.
It's 23 flavors, Savin. I can't resist.
Anyway,
There's never any chance.
all you really missed is I sent Amy to go talk to Jeff, and also Juno mentioned that she and Augie got engaged. Yay.
Congratulations. I'm sure you will create genetically superior versions of what? And she's just going to lean over Juno. Hopefully without your predilection for shunting yourself into danger.
Honestly, I would settle for my avoiding the predilection of being shunted into lockers.
I still don't understand that reference.
Do you know what a locker is?
I don't know, but it sounds
I am
like something
I am
someone might
aware
do.
of the you mean a box where you store things.
Yes. When I was trained to be a Sororitas, the other sisters didn't like me very much, so they put me in the box and locked me in it. That's the joke.
But why?
Because it was uncomfortable and I couldn't get out.
If they did not like you, why did they not simply report you to an overseer for perceived deficiencies?
Just kind of tap her chin. I don't think they didn't like me that much, and plus I'm pretty sure the overseers cheated in my favor to get me out of there. I'm not convinced at all that I actually passed hand-to-hand training.
It's Amelie. Do you think she wasn't already the teacher's pet?
Do you want them
I mean,
shot?
it's Juno.
No.
It's Juno. Do you think she wasn't the teacher's pet? God, what just happened to my mind there?
No, I don't want anyone shot. They were just mean. Now they're
Why-
Sororitas serving the Imperium.
Was there a particular reason why they didn't like Juno?
Does she sane and nice?
Juno's
a
a
goody
goody two-shoes
two-shoes.
and also very high
Was she-
nobility.
Was she maybe a little tattletale?
No, Juno's not a tattletale. Come on, look at this. Juno would never get anyone in trouble.
Did you? No, I'm not going to ask it very clearly. Not something I understand.
It's okay. It's just a joke I like making at my own expense. All it means is that I got bullied a lot as a child.
I assume this is in between Eloa just putting in the rivets and
Yeah, this is like Eloa's building the Faraday
Building up.
cage, and Juno's just like sitting in it, patting the robot on the head, telling it everything's going to be okay.
Don't do that. You might lose that hand.
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I
You
am barely a threat to anyone, much less someone of this martial caliber.
be that as it may. Also, if you stay right there, you're going to be sealed inside the Faraday cage.
Are you not building a door?
Yes, but you're standing beside it.
Oh. Just stand up. Take a couple steps back.
Clunk.
So now that the cage is built, are we going to reactivate this thing?
Very carefully. First begins examination, and then cross-referencing with my knowledge of technical know-how, and then we begin the process of resuscitation. Also, I am going to need troopers with bolt weapons.
Just station Ceiko down the hallway with a rifle.
I'll need more than one. Yeah, it just turns out that among all of the battle sisters, Juno was
No.
well, I
You've
mean,
seen Juno's physical stats. She is at best unremarkable.
I mean,
She is.
Token's pretty cute though.
Yeah, Juno's extremely cute, but she's also not like a sex pot either. She's very modest figured.
She actually has weedy little arms, rather than being fairly strong, but having such enormous tits that they get in the way.
Yeah, no, Juno's actually just a weakling who never ate her Wheaties.
Well, Eloa has 25 strength, but a lot of unnatural strength because robot everything.
25 is still more than I have.
You and your Weedly 15. I'm sure you have
Fine.
more than that.
It's 21, but yeah.
I have 4 points more. I win.
You do, yes. Juno cannot win in like arm wrestling with anybody.
I win even in comparing our highest stats other than the highest stat of all time. My god, that influence.
It used to be
You
bigger.
absolute mad lad. Your character sheet still upsets me.
I'm sorry I rolled for my stats. There's no mechanic to even these numbers out. Other than like getting ass blasted by the Emperor and hoping I roll exactly the right number of stat points to lose. Oh, did I just get fucking suplexed by a robot? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Arr.
Once the restraints in the cage are done, what next, Eloa?
Well, I mean, it's completely unknown. Well, unknown technology for me. So we do what all Mechanicus do. We poke at it until something works. Maybe hit it with a wrench. So I assume that I'm going to have to go through a skill challenge. Hopefully, starting with either using Depths of Knowledge, Archaea Tech, or Forbidden Lore AdMech, then scanning with tech, then tech use, or
I mean,
blah blah blah. Logic, maybe.
it would be easier if you just tell me what you're trying to accomplish. Step by step, ideally.
Alright, well, first I want to, first is diagnosis. I know chest caved in, but what does it appear it caved into? Did we blow out, like, the coolant system or something like that? The
So,
power source.
are you going to be opening the chest up?
Explorative surgery, I suppose? Because I already scanned it, right? And I know what I know from the scan.
Yes, which is, something in the chest doesn't work with your scanner. It's either shielded or made of an entirely unknown metal.
Alright, well, before I do this, I am going to lather up, but instead of how doctors do it, I am going to coat myself in sacred unguents. Light up the incense, begin the rituals. The ancient ritual of the turn on sequence. Windows 95 startup sequence noise.
Yep. So, going to first off ask for a scrutiny roll to determine how bits are attached, like how the chest plate is actually held on, for instance.
I got asked what I wanted from Carl's Jr. or Hardy's. I had to answer that real quick. What roll? I got most of it, but I didn't catch what roll it was.
Scrutiny.
Scrutiny. Okay. Difficulty, please.
With depth of knowledge, a -10.
Okay, so wraps back around to a flat because I'm using my eyeballs, right?
Presumably, you don't have to use your eyeballs. You could grope it to victory if you really want it.
Hooray! I'll finally get a waifu in a game.
Is there anything I can do to help? I'm on standby.
So, does my bonus from my special lives also stack with my bonus from my best quality aspects, or no?
Sure. And Savin, not really. Not like if you had functional organic eyes, you could, but your soul vision is not really able to
Understandable.
really tell the difference between a pull toggle and a push toggle and the emergency fire the tits across the room button.
Ah, yes. Juno does have a lot of problem with push-pull doors, it's true.
Oh my god, Merzendi, I saw what you posted. We need to get Juno back to her former bullies ASAP.
Yes. Yeah. After a bit of examination, you can indeed find that the bottom of the chest plate a little tab where you can slip a tool in, and that you do actually have a tool that matches this tab. One of the many attachments on your utility mechadendrite. Yes, you have a 10mm Phillips head.
I was thinking a very different 10mm, but okay.
It's a running grease monkey joke the 10mm attachment for the ratchet is always missing.
Yes. Using your standard Mechanicum toolset, you can actually start to open it. And now you've found that one little insert tab, which is cunningly concealed in the marionette's belly button. You can find a couple more. Start opening it up. When you do... Oh, are you going to open it up? I assume so, I just want to confirm.
Exploratory surgery. I gotta find out what's wrong before I can fix it.
Alright. So... you pop the outer plate off. You can see there it has buckled in a bit, and it has then squeezed an inner plate down that you can pop that off. This one comes with a lot more resistance and a hiss of gas as you do. And beneath that, there is a lattice of gold. One side of it has been bowed in by the caved plate, and within, suspended in gold and crystal, there are a pair of jewels. One large, vibrant, red and glowing. The other colourless. Well, not colourless. The other pitch black and cracked. However, judging by the way the lattice holds it, the cracked stone is supposed to be cracked. But the caved inside appears to have pressed the two gems together. Now, Eloa, could you roll me Forbidden Law? The Xeno Eldar?
You got it! I'll click Depths of Knowledge.
It's +0, as you are
Okay.
Inquisition.
Wahoo!
So, you are familiar with the Eldari to some extent. Being from the Calixus sector, there is a craft world that harasses you fairly regularly, and it often, you run into them, and all craft worlders bear gems such as these upon their breasts. In a crude approximation of, in a crude translation, it does not go directly, they are known as spirit stones. And according to the Xeno, they are capable of capturing a soul after the person who originally had it is killed.
Alright, Merzendi. Is this an artificial one, or is this an Eldari Soulstone? Is this like the human approximate, or am I looking at the Eldari Soulstone? Because I have something to say if the latter is true.
As far as you... As far as you can tell, it appears to be a real one.
God damn it, Merzendi. The first time you create a waifu, of course it's a robot elf.
Yay, elves!
Of course, it is. I would say again, as far as you can tell, because really, I don't know how you would tell the difference between a real one and a functional human replica.
The human ones have a shit ton more gold and are shaped in cooler designs because we're just much better. Probably like an Aquila or something like that. Take that, you nerds.
Is that actually a thing, or is that?
I am not aware of any recorded human being put into a soul stone in the lore. I assume that this was all just stuff you're making up. Well, not making up, but introducing. Is that true? Have humans gone into Eldari soulstones before? My
I'd be
God.
shocked if that's never been a thing.
Well, I can tell you that there is, at least. This is purely OOC. Eloa wouldn't know this, but there has been at least one story in which a human has worn an Eldar Soulstone, and sure seemed like their souls swapped.
Mhm.
And the rogue trader was now just being an Eldar.
There are also plenty of stories of, like, there's that one Inquisitor who was bound inside of armor, but it's not the same thing. But the armor did have a shard of the Emperor's armor in it.
Mm.
Alright, so my only response to that is curiouser and curiouser. So, did you say the shard itself was cracked, the soulstone?
There are 2 gems in there. One appears to be a fully intact Soulstone. The other looks to be the same crystalline composition, but is dark and broken. And it also looks like it was installed already broken.
So this wasn't a recent. What you're saying is not a recent development from shooting it a lot.
Indeed. Yeah. Correct. It does look like the battle damage has pressed the 2 stones together so they are touching. It doesn't look like they are supposed to be.
All right, and is it the metal backing that's pressing them together? And if so, is it some more of this weird, crazy metal, or like the gold lattice work around it?
It is the lattice work. It has been deformed when the casing buckled.
Okay, that's much easier then. Gold is way easier to shape with gentle application of a plasma cutter. Just slightly heat it up and mold it back into place. And with 4 ranks in armor.
Well, if that's what you want to do, then I think with 4 ranks in armor, I don't need to make you roll. But is that what you want to do?
Is there anything else I can see inside of this robot other than this damage?
Okay. Can I see anything special in there? With your
Ah.
chest plate off?
Oh, Juno, yeah. You can tell absolutely the intact stone is where the soul is. But say the cracked one, it's not just empty. It's like looking into a great big hole.
Is it like siphoning stuff off of the intact one?
It doesn't appear to be doing so successfully, but there does appear to be a draw from the intact one into it, like it's just at the edge of the abyss, and something is so slightly trying to tug.
Okay. Then yeah, Juno will relay that to Eloa and suggest she return these stones to their original positions so that stops happening.
Alright. Can I
Although,
make... What?
I have a feeling as soon as you restore their positions, this empty stone is what's rendering this being inert. So, be prepared.
That I had guessed.
Well,
Stand back, please.
Juno will do so.
Ceiko, do you still have target lock?
Yes?
Skitarii, hold and prepare.
Please don't shoot unless it attacks us.
There is a chorus of beeping affirmation.
Alright, I'm going to do one last once over inside of... I'm going to do my scanning inside the cavity this time to make sure I haven't missed anything. You know, with my wiggle around my optical mechadendrite and the Auspex.
Sure. Now, now you do. You can determine the source of the difficulty in the scanning. It's in the lattice. While it is gold on the outside, or at least appears gold, the actual metal properties don't quite add up. There is a flow and a movement within it, and it is actually scanning past it and at the crystals impossible.
Flim flam and necrodermis. Is the gold at least, gold AU? Or is this like, what's it called? Not a compound, an alloy. What I mean to say is the stuff that, I don't want to just jump the gun and just call it necrodermis living metal, but, the unknown metal that is making it difficult for me, has it alloyed itself with the metal, with the gold, or is it like slithering over it?
It seems separate. It's like the actual gold. Whoops.
Smack.
Yeah, the actual gold is like the casing of a wire.
Oh, and you've said that basically I have no idea what this stuff is, so it'd be pointless for me to just keep throwing dice at trying to figure out what that metal is, correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is not something that you have had any experience with or exposure to. And if it is been recorded in records you have access to, it was not described in such a way that you are able to recognize it.
Does it react if I try to take a sample?
How are you going to be doing that?
Most scientists just take a scraping.
Okay, but this is from inside of the gold, so
I have from inside of the gold. Oh, okay.
yeah, so it's like, imagine a wire, but instead of like the plastic wrap around copper, it is gold wrap around unknown metal.
I thought it was the other way around. Okay, well, I don't think I can do that. None of it is exposed, and just going around and yanking it out when I'm trying to also repair it doesn't seem to help. That would not help. Let's leave the yanking wires for after it tries to kill us.
I like your forward thinking.
All right. Well, I've done all the scans and I've thrown all the dice I can at the problem. Now it's just time to go forward with what I've decided on. Repair go.
Sure.
I would like to point out that I am at as much arm's length as possible, and I'm going to have the rotor cannon prepared. I have taken the time to reload.
Alright, so you're standing, what? 2 full meters away with your mechadendrites doing the actual work.
Do I need to use my hands for finer manipulation than the mechadendrite are capable of?
You know, that is a fair point, and you probably would.
Okay. Well, hopefully it doesn't close on me like the chest cavity doesn't close on me like when they were doing the autopsy in the thing.
Oh God.
Nightmares about that when I was a kid.
Alright. So, I guess last question for you before we switch to narration. Are you going to separate the spirit stones first, or as the first or last part of realigning the lattice?
And what was it? What was the specific wording Juno gave to me?
Juno said that she believes the stones being in contact with one another is what's rendering this thing inert. So
That would be
assume-
the last thing then.
yeah. I would highly recommend that.
Alright. And now I go AFK and leave you in suspense for a bit.
Yay!
Yeah, sorry, I just... Better to go now than have to go halfway through.
I mean, fair enough.
Now I get the waifu. No, she's just gonna wake up and try to murder us. It's fine.
Yeah,
Look at me. I am the DM now.
I mean, I remember DCLND. That was fun. But
That didn't
yeah, I
exist, though.
feel like if she was gonna murder us, she would have killed a bunch of random guardsmen along the way. But then again, we also shot her. Well, we didn't shoot her a bunch, but our goon shot her a bunch. So I could understand if she was super upset.
Yeah. And also, Juno's really spooky.
Juno is basically giving her head pats and reassuring whispers. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, if anyone's gonna get murdered here, it's the other robot. because there can be only one.
Such a great movie.
What, Juno?
They had the weirdest casting of all time. So we're going to the Highlands. Yes. All right. So we're gonna have the main character. What the main character for that I think was Canadian, right? The main actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, all right, we're going to have a Canadian pretend to be a Scotsman, but we're going to have the most Scottish man of all time pretend to be a Spaniard.
Craig Ferguson?
Sean Connery.
Him too.
It's the Highlander, right? That was that movie?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Wasn't Rutger Hauer in that too?
Roxanne. Clancy Brown was in that? I love Clancy Brown. Sean Connery. Oh no, Christopher Lambert is French American. So you had a French American playing a Scotsman, and a Scotsman playing a Spaniard.
Typical.
Jokes. No.
And then you have Clancy Brown, who is God's gift to mankind.
I'm so sad they didn't get
Merzendi
him
back
to
yet? No.
play the main guy in Starship Troopers 2.
Huh?
They wanted to get Clancy Brown to star in Starship Troopers 2, but
Oh,
he did not, and instead that movie sucked.
he played the greatest. I cannot ever hear Lex Luthor's voice without hearing Clancy Brown. It's just he made the best Lex Luthor of all time. He was the one who did the VO for Justice League and JLU.
I don't think
Just
I've ever
that-
seen a Justice League
Really?
cartoon since the reruns of the 70s one.
Oh. Well, you should watch Justice League and JLU from like the 90s and early thousands. Very good.
Pretty sure it was only the thousands.
Wasn't the original Justice League in? Because I thought it was going on right after Batman TAS. After that ended.
Yeah. Which I think also ended in like 2000. Let me check.
Because I was like, Kevin Conroy's in it, so surely. But then again, original release was 01, yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I was thinking 2000 or 2001.
Still, I mean, 2001 is still basically the 90s.
Yeah,
The
I give
thousands
you
didn't
that. It's like,
The thousands didn't become the thousands until at least 2006.
I was gonna say at least 2003, but yeah, sure. I think we can agree that it's basically the 90s up until that point.
Yeah. Well, no. I think the 90s ended on 9/11, to be fair.
Fair enough,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Once
But
the endless war in the sand began.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Again.
started 2 months after 9/11, so yeah, technically in the 2000s then, if we're going by that metric.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I did love Justice League and I did love JLA. Bob's off getting laundry. He's gonna become a laundryman.
Laundry Man.
It is longer than.
Hang on. We did get Carl's Jr., but I'm gonna put this in. I'm just gonna sit it in the microwave so it, stays warm. But if there's gonna be a lot of talking, I don't want my face full of Berg.
Understandable.
Have a nice day.
You know what? I'm going to go order a burg because I currently don't have a working stove.
Better than having a stove that exploded.
Oh yeah, that actually is factually better.
Yeah, that happened to my girlfriend.
Oh no.
Who?
Is she okay?
Oh, she's fine. That happened a couple weeks ago. She's finally moving out of that apartment. As of like a couple days ago, she's been in the process of
Holy shit.
unpacking now. She's finally out of that awful neighborhood, and I'm so proud of her.
Hello.
Dear to Merz. Stray stepped away for just a moment, but he'll be right back.
All right.
Alright, Berg is waiting in the nuclear box for now.
The nuclear
Excellent.
box.
I assume Merzendi would enjoy me talking without the sound of munching a Berg.
I don't know. I think she'd prefer you to have some meat in your mouth.
Hmm.
Dear, dear. Yes. So, Eloa, you are reactivating the marionette.
I'm reactivating the Marianas Trench.
I mean, at least get a room before you activate that. Good lord.
We just filled the Marianas Trench with trash by the year 40k, it's fine.
Mm.
I would not be surprised if that's like some enormous Imperial base down there, actually.
It's probably a city.
I mean, there are no oceans left on Terra, so...
Exactly.
Except for all of the books in which there are.
I'm
Well.
so confused all the time about the lore.
So are the writers, clearly.
Yeah.
Just do what DC did and say it's in different dimensions rather than the same one.
They'll never do that.
I mean, that doesn't excuse DC's bad writing most of the time.
This is what happens when you allow fans to write. They just...
Yeah, but when you get professional writers to write, you get the gussy.
Wait, what? What? I need an explanation.
Oh, Ian Watson was a well-renowned and very successful writer before he wrote for Games Workshop. And he created the most lewd and debauched bits of the lore.
I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a professional writer and you told me to write 40k shit, oh boy.
You are a professional writer.
It's like with artists, you know, every professional creator you hire is just a pervert. It's just the magnitude to you know, how much they're showing it. You know, sometimes you find the secret furry porn art like years after the death. Sometimes it's just posted on Twitter right then and there.
The choice is either very confusing or very erotic and monstrous, and there is no in between.
Sometimes both.
Erotically
Yes.
monstrous.
Okay, HR Geiger, calm down.
Look, he was just he was just really convinced that the penis was scary. Okay, no other reason.
All right.
It can be, though.
So, as you start to work, Eloa, there is some fair amount of resistance at first, but as you persevere and you start guiding the lattice work back into its proper place, after the first couple, it becomes much easier. You no longer even need the plasma torch to soften it. You can just move it by hand. as if the very metal has realized you're trying to help. Then at last you come to the last pieces of lattice. The crystals are held. And that guide them apart. The rest of the lattice work repaired. It's easy to see where they should sit. Suspended just a fraction out of contact. And as you set them in that position, a spark shoots between the intact crystal and the cracked one. The entire lattice work starts to glow. A light spreading from the crystal into that, then through recessed wiring, the chassis is hissing more of that coolant gas puffing out. And a humming noise. It's quiet but pervasive. Like 1,000 different reverberations going as one. So you step back, your work complete. There's a few moments before the marionette's eyes slide open. And as they do, all of the little scorch marks and bend marks, the dents and cracks on its outer plating just begin to heal as if it was alive.
Elle is going to step back and draw herself up to her full height. Oop! I clicked out of that real quick. I was trying to open up my sheet. Oh well.
I'll do it again for you. There you are.
I noticed a distinct lack of pointy ears.
And there could be hiding them.
Oh,
There
have you
aren't
seen it?
wow
Have you
ears.
seen? Oh, they still have pretty big pointy ears. Then again, depending on the lore. All right. Will draw herself up to her full height and then speak both in let's start with low Gothic and then and also Technolingua. I am Mago Soloa Delta Omicron of the Lathe World Hash. I've inspected your frame and found you a conundrum of the mysteries. Explain yourself. Are you of the Eldari?
There is a long pause. It says, "Felicitations.
Hello.
And what language is this?
You spoke in Low Gothic, it has replied in Low Gothic.
Okay. Well, I spoke in Low Gothic and Technolingua, just making sure.
Which one did you say first, I guess?
Simultaneously.
Then it responds in both simultaneously.
Sorry about the
Great.
shooting thing.
Greetings. Who are you?
Um, I flicks to Juno. It's to her. Absolution.
Thank you, that's very kind.
And just a moment. Stray. Yes, to Eloa, it says, Sui generis.
Whence do you come?
Penitentiary.
By what hand were you formed?
Innumerable. Vinekin.
Vinekin?
Vinekin.
Oh. You are created of the children of Mars.
Obliquely.
Juno's just gonna tap Eloa on the shoulder and then lean back out again and say, No offense, but are you unable to speak in complete sentences? Like here, the source page is flipping.
Flip, 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 flip.
Literally, yes. Transliteration. Insolvable.
Eloa, I suggest you ask questions that can be answered with yeses or nos. For clarity's sake.
Can you answer numerical values?
One.
How many standard cycles have you been in operation?
That's not a yes or no question.
It's not a yes or no question. I asked if she could respond in numerical values. She said 1. So presumably she could say a lot more. Like one repeating until I get the number I want.
Just sounds like a dial tone when she replies in Technolingua. Beep.
Very much so, yeah. Um, uh, 'Turbidity. Operation? Define.
Turbidity.
Already knows.
That was a word I did not know until just now. All right. I will, in Technolingua, transfer the data of what standard cycle means, and then how long that is as a and provide reference points since the beginning of your how long since the beginning of your operation.
That was actually the thing she asked you to define.
Ask her her earliest memory. Or the date thereof.
Since the date of your earliest memory.
There is a long beep. And 24,000 revolutions.
24. So, is that in the golden age of technology?
Yes, that is roughly at the height of the Golden Age. That would be in the 16th or 17th millennium. So, the first half of the Dark Age of technology.
Were you once of mortal flesh? Like this, and then she'll reach over and pinch one of Juno's cheeks.
Juno just waves. Hello.
Meet. 1.
What was that
No,
second word?
it's
One?
meet. One means yes.
Okay.
Eloa is just going to lean heavily on her on her omniscient axe and think to herself for a moment before one of her tendrils will reach up and remove her helmet. It's just going to stare deeply into this simulacrum's eyes. What is... okay, we already have her name, right? Could you put her name up? I'm never going to remember.
I don't think we did. That's what I was about to ask.
She did introduce herself, yes.
Did she?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I could have swore she did.
No.
Oh, I did ask what... Oh, okay.
No, I was just about to ask while you were thinking.
What?
I mean, she described herself as sui generis, which is
That's just French.
Yeah, that.
yeah, not a name, just especially unique, singular.
Indeed. I guess while Ella was thinking, then Juno will put a hand to her own chest and say, "By the way, I'm Juno Dondrick. What can we call you?"
There is something I need to check before I can give you a reply there.
Alright. She's computating if it's safe to give us her true name.
Transliteration. Eclectic.
Okay. It's a bit of a mouthful, but we'll work with it.
Can you give me the name of the world upon which you originate?
Sure. So, undying tears.
Alright. I'm going to start to scroll through information I have. Is Undying Tears the name of a world, a space station, anything within the Adeptus Mechanicus archives? I know that everything was shattered from what people so sillily call the Dark Age of technology.
I mean, the Mechanicum are one of the ones that push that name.
Yeah, so exactly. It's silly. Tab.
I thought we called it the Golden Age of technology, and the Dark Age of technology was pushed by the Emperor.
Well, that may have been in the time of the Great Crusade, but now the Mechanicum. Well, the Mechanicum are the only ones who really have any record of anything from back then, and they call it the Dark Age, because then people were all inventive and did such terrible sins as trying to improve upon the perfection the Omnissiah gave them. And that's why they got yeeted.
Technically not wrong, but
Yeah. Eloa, this would be a depth of knowledge roll with a -50.
ooh,
Oh boy.
This is a very obscure bit of knowledge.
There's nothing I'm gonna help myself out with that one.
no.
Eh, Well, that's a 5%. That's a 15% chance, guys. We can do it. Let's roll them dice.
I mean, you might as well try again.
Let's fish for a crit fail.
I mean, don't you have, your class ability?
I think that works without the giant
Does
penalty.
that, hang on. Quest for knowledge. Oh, any lore skill test. Excellent. I spend a fate point on quest for knowledge.
Does that one not have like a as long as you don't
No.
have a penalty? Why am I missing?
Automatically succeed at a logic or any lore skill test with the number of degrees of success equal to your intelligence bonus.
That is so much better than mastery.
Yeah, but normally whenever I asked if I could use it, Merzendi said, "Oh well, you'll get corruption if you try this," and then that gets waived when I took depths of knowledge, where I automatically got corrupted and driven insane by the crushing weight of knowledge.
Yay! Yeah,
Okay,
baller.
Merzendi, I succeed with 6 degrees of success.
Alright. So, there is no direct knowledge of a world named Undying Tears. However, Eclectic is clearly having issues with direct translation, so thought to run through synonyms if that comes in. And well, Immortal Sorrows? That's pretty close to Undying Tears, right? And the world of Immortal Sorrows, that comes up in reference to an interrogation of an Eldari, one of the ancient worlds of their so-called empire.
So it was created by my kith and kin, but on something with influence from the Eldari.
And Big E in his webway.
Oh my god! If really she might actually be a daughter of the Omnissiah.
Mm.
While Ella was doing her think with that, Juno's gonna quickly run through High Gothic, Lethite, and Ionan and see if any of those languages help Eclectic speak gooder.
They help a bit, is She is still fairly stilted, but yeah. But is making a degree more sense. She has mastered the use of a clause.
Excellent. So yeah, Eloa, do you know High Gothic?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's shift this conversation into High Gothic. We use the Emperor's Latin here. See if we can get
Also, real
sentences out
quick.
of her.
Also, real quick tidbit. The Mechanicum largely looks on favor of the Dark Age of technology. It's the Ecclesiarchy that doesn't, because it was at a time when man worshipped science more than the Emperor, and the Mechanicum blamed psychers for the fall of the Golden Age, hence the frantic hunt for STCs and anything built back then. But then again, that's the Lexiconum. It probably says something different somewhere else.
Yeah, I read a direct quote from an Archmagos talking about all of these things man did to try to better himself, and we have grown so much wiser now.
That's probably like hand waved away by one of the many catechisms. What the splinter groups within the Adeptus Mechanicus itself. Oh well. All right. So we're switching to High Gothic then.
Yeah. She seems to be able to
All right.
communicate more cogently in Romance languages.
All right. So we'll switch over to Latin. Your lexiconum is greater in this tongue, then.
Affirmative, so it memories. Greater I have greater memories.
Ah, that makes sense. She was probably more familiar with even older languages than High Gothic.
Technolingua has not changed since the days of the ancients. But that would be a rather two-sided conversation between the two of us.
I do appreciate being included, yes. But do feel free to get necessary information.
So then, you who call yourself Eclectic, would you be so kind as to tell us of your origins and how you came to be here, and your relationship with the disembodied gray matter?
Perhaps break that down into smaller chunks. The massive brains we had to fight. Did you cause that?
Dread dreams shared.
An
They
involuntary
came
response.
to sleep.
So you were already insensate in that pod.
Warp phenomena reacting with technology from being from the age of technology, perhaps.
Actually, how did you come to be on this ship?
That was going to be my second question.
Flight. I took flight from the dark place. My third conveyance. I was meditating and awaiting.
Eloa's going to put a mental pin in the dark place for a second before asking, "And what was it you were awaiting?"
Kin.
Kin.
Mhm.
More of you, or children of Mars?
More of those that were.
When was the last time you had contact with them?
The time of weeping. Approximately 10,000 cycles?
The year 30,000.
Juno will just kind of nod encouragingly. She says cycles.
Yes. That Eclectic's eyes will go on to look at her open chest plate. A gift. Memorance.
The time of weeping would be the Horus Heresy.
Or perhaps the Age of Strife and Old Night.
It's true. Could have been a bit before.
So,
Like, out of character, remind me, what caused the old night again? Was that Slanesh?
Yes, that was in the lead up to the fall of the Eldar Empire. Great warp storms racked the galaxy. Coming so soon after the AI rebellions, the great human domains fell out of contact and were attacked by countless horrors. Each world was almost completely isolated, and it only ended a little while before the Unification Wars and the Great Crusade. The warp storms, all but one, the Great Eye of Terror, faded away.
the old night brought low the age of technology.
Yeah. Alright. See, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
We in that deep lore now, son.
Yeah, we in the deep lore.
Can you tell me, if I were to show you a map, could you tell me where the dark place was?
I have a feeling we're going to it.
Possibly, but from far-flung worlds to even the closest stars, we have no idea how far this one traveled to be in this location. People can drift for millennia, or it could, the very darkness that she points to could be on the very fringes of known space where the light of the Astronomicon grows dim.
Well, that's just it. We're going somewhere where the light dims, but yes,
Yes, that is likely, but I'm merely requesting confirmation.
I can approximate stellar navigation. Not a talent.
That is fine. I do not need specific locations, and Ella is just going to turn over her palm and then use a data slate to project a galactic map.
Sure. Are you releasing one of her hands so she can actually point?
Yes? Right. Sorry.
She's
She'll-
tied down.
Yeah, well, listen. Someone was talking to me. Alright. I'm going to, Ella is going to very cautiously unbind one of her arms. And immediately get stabbed in the throat.
Alright. Eclectic moves the arm, a little hesitantly at first. Though she is entirely mechanical, there is a moment where she tests it, as if expecting pins and needles, and flexes her fingers. Yeah.
Ella's very good at her job.
You can see the little blade cavities open, but her talons do not actually extend. And she has a little nod in acknowledgement of what Juno said. Then, turning to the map, she looks and hesitates again. Where are the ways?
Wait, do I know about those, Merzendi?
Probably a bit. Not a huge amount, but a bit.
Eldari webways are largely unknown.
I see. She goes over the map and yeah, her hand just just brushing over the hololith. Here, I think. She points to a area just rimward of the Gothic sector. The dreaded Grail Abyss.
Confirmation.
Juno will just ask after a moment. Where's she pointing? I can't see the thing.
The Grail Dark.
Oh.
No.
The Grail Abyss, sorry.
Yeah. I know it's a bit confusing. If I was GW, I wouldn't have had two things that are like so close, effectively right next to each other, but like on the wrong sides of the sector from each other. But I'm not GW. I can't fix their sillies all of the time.
General.
Yes, the Grail Dark is the one you're in. The Grail Abyss is the one just outside of the sector that used to be the boundary of human space.
I have a feeling that Eclectic and the prohibition of going into the abyss are possibly related.
Alright, and when we asked who she was waiting for, she said kin. When we asked, like her kin, right? Because we specifically asked if it included children of Mars, and she said like closely related to her.
Yeah, she said kin, and then when you pressed for what that meant, she said those that were.
Harkening back to an earlier statement, who are those that were more like you, man, Eldari? No, she's not.
Yeah. Um, I've you those you call Eldari.
What was the rest of that sentence before Eldari? It was hard to hear.
That's just a drawn out affirmative.
Huh. So, before you were in this form, were you an Eldar?
A kin. Not not of faultless blood.
Juno's gonna quirk her head to the side. Faultless blood. Were you a half Eldari?
That got thrown out a long time ago, but my god.
I think
Let's throw
they
that
might
shit
have
back
been.
in.
I'd love for half elves to be a thing. They're the cutest.
Yeah, well, because my other thing would be worse than that. I don't want her to be a Drakari.
I think she predates the difference, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, they didn't split until during the Age of Strength. Yeah, since 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been before Slanish was around.
Yeah,
Yes. I mean, yeah. Back then would have just been pompous elves doing pompous things. And
Yeah,
that was all of them.
Elven super perverts making a sex god.
Yes, just, another 10,000, well, another 10 to 15,000 years of murder-fucking gluttony and other forms of excess
They
between
tamp-
her birth and the fall.
They tampered with the human gene seed, and now we know where DCL came from.
Excuse me.
Yes. Does
They didn't tamper far enough.
Yes.
what answer does she have for me on that?
Indeed. Half of the high blood, half of those who walk now in the shadow,
Those who walked so Drakari? I'm so confused. Oh, wait. She's half clown.
you know, you got a very good, well, you just spent a fate point earlier. There's a third possibility. The Eldar offshoots known as mandrakes.
Mandrakes.
Fuck.
Plants?
No, they are an offshoot of Drukari that, well, who dwelt in the depths of the webway. There, in her day, they would have been more closely related, but now, thanks to where they were when shit happened, they are creatures. Well, they are Eldar creatures made out of shadow as much as they are light.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I totally forgot that mandrakes existed. You're blowing my mind with this deepest of lore.
Yes, the Imperium does not know for certain where they appeared or what they are, or what caused them. Just they are an Eldar subspecies that have shadow powers.
Alright, so half dark elf, half IO. Let me get this straight for the information we have. Half high elf, half dark elf, entombed in a body made by the Adeptus Mechanicus.
As far as she's telling you, yes.
What is the squint button?
Scrutiny.
I'm going to do a heckin' squint modifier, please.
She is a robot. And while you are also largely a robot, she is a significantly more robot sort of robot.
Quit rubbing it in.
So, for you, it'll be a -20. If Juno wants in, for her, it is a -40.
I mean, I might as well.
Can Juno help me and make it a -10?
Sure.
Sure, I will do that. Well, Juno is trying to remember how to use her datapad.
That's security. That's scrutiny. Ugh, I can't buy it with that.
Well,
You jerk, I gotta reroll. It's that one that ruined me.
That is the
Mhm.
worst feeling too. Ah!
Look at
Oh no! Drilltail's just rubbing its cock on your face. Nyeh.
All right. Yeah. You cannot. You cannot detect any proof that she is lying to you or holding anything back.
Well, whilst Eloa is doing the big thing, Juno's probably can finally get her savior data pulled up. Say, do you recognize this world? Show her the data pad. Pray she hasn't pulled up her nudes by accident.
Sure. And are you just showing her the world or what?
Yeah, he's probably got a dual screen of the planet and where it is in the galaxy.
Hmm. Un momento. I need to
Sure.
see if I wrote something down.
If she seems to struggle thinking, Juno will probably show her the hieroglyphics we saw earlier. She definitely snapped some pictures of those. Big spoopy Eldar warning symbols.
And yes, the entombment. That which never should have been.
The thing that shall not be.
I don't know much about it, but do you?
And now you can clearly sense she is very much thinking as to whether she should tell you this or not.
Juno's
You-
just gonna
you-
put up
you-
a hand and say, I don't mean no harm will come to you for answering either way, but this is about the only contact we've had with the Eldari so far, and it seems to have unleashed some measure of threat on our part of the galaxy.
A prophecy exists. Tales of things to come. An embryo of madness. And she says madness. She reaches into her chest cavity and points towards the broken soulstone. Destruction. Death beyond death.
I see. That's rather grim. Thank you for sharing. Just gonna write that down. File that away. Oh boy. I feel bad leaving you the rest tied down. If I unshackle you, will you stay around and keep talking to us?
I was unaware that you had a plasma cutter attachment.
I have a hacksaw. But she seems docile enough at the moment. I don't think she means us any harm.
Seems is one thing. Tell me, there is one thing that perplexes me. When you were awakened, you rather deftly set upon our crew, and yet none have died. Why did you spare their lives?
In estimation, they bore no badge of rank. They among your kind, obedience is not deserving of execution. They followed orders to neutralize me. I sought to stop them, but they did not need to be killed just for doing what was asked of them.
See.
I was just going to quietly regard Eclectic for a long moment. You are a mystery upon mysteries, one that cannot be answered as succinctly as any other I have been presented with before. And then Eloa is going to raise an arm and send a message in Technolingua in ordering the Scutaria to disperse. The legate will remain.
Alright. There is a momentary pause before the legate affirms the order.
I will consult the deeper mysteries of my order, but now the question comes to you. An intelligence, one with a soul granted by unknown means, a body granted by the hands of the ancients in the age of technology. Tell me, what is your purpose? Do you even know it?
Does she have one?
That is my question.
An estimate of purpose. Now, there are less guns pointed at her. She does, a talon blade does extend from a finger. Doesn't lock into fighting position, but it reveals itself. This form is made to kill.
There are many things known and unknown. However, I do know how your form should work. Tell me, as I can you check the log of your directories? Are there any cordoned off portions of your mind? Ones that require a key, perhaps?
Indeed. And as she speaks, her voice changes to a grating metallic tone. Target designatories may only be accessed by order of the Cyclone Lords.
Eloa, hang on, Cyclone Lords. That was from that one thing when Eloa was bouncing around the ship, right?
Not quite. You have heard it before, but it. So you remember Adept and Null, the
Yes.
Yes. As you were previously, you just had any knowledge of his name removed from your mind. However, after your elevation to Majos, when you met him, it was replaced with information that, well, this information is only accessible with the approval of the Cyclonian Lords.
Does that term mean anything to you, Eloa?
Eloa will just nod. Tell me, are there any current directives that you are under?
Just a moment. Let me just make a roll here to see if something would happen here. Okay, no. Her eyes cross slightly, expression of deep thought. When she speaks again, her voice is her own again. I see none.
Is going to cross her arms over her armor. I understand now more than I have before. So now lies a query. Upon release in that hypothetical situation, what would be your autonomic response?
My final goal remains to rejoin my kin.
There in the Grail Abyss.
No, those that were the Eldari.
And how would you go about accomplishing such a goal? They are fickle and unknowable. Your part of your base construct may be part of them. My question is, how would you even find them? Their race is shattered to the stars.
Evidence suggests extended hibernation is inadvisable within a thank you within a human vessel. A question in response. The world you named Savior. For what reason has it been brought to attention?
A group of Eldar attacked a human ship there. We believe, though unfortunately we cannot as yet confirm, that they are looking for some sort of artifact there. Currently there's at least three-way war going on in the system between orcs, Eldari, and humans.
That which never should have been has not awakened?
I do not know at this point. I believe the Eldar were searching for it, but we sent one of our most powerful and skilled inquisitors to find the truth and protect the world from whatever that may be. Juno's just going to put up a hand for a moment, say. We are currently on this ship on a quest of time sensitivity, but when it is done, our intent is to rendezvous with that man and potentially go to Savior. If you can promise not to harm the ship or crew, we can take you there.
such a proposition is acceptable, if that which never should have been remains, the Eldari will keep a watch there. I know still be signs to find them and rejoin my kin.
Okay. Juno will just kind of glance at Eloa. Is that acceptable to you?
Given past data, Jeff's refractory period should have ended 5 minutes ago. We shall wait a none for Emily. I have one more test to administer.
Okay. Juno's gonna glance back to Eclectic and say, for the sake of transparency, I should say that our group is not typically disposed towards cooperating with other species. But in this particular case, it seems that whatever that thing on Savior is a more dire threat than protecting our borders from Xenos.
Ostensibly, we are alien hunters. However, Eloa will pause and stare at Eclectic before placing her helmet back on. Whether or not you know the hand that guides you, I have seen the mark of your masters before.
And I would rather hunt Xenos that are much more dangerous than Eldari. So, if you can, I would prefer not to have to fight you in the distant future.
We will we will have discussions later. For now, Eclectic, this olive branch of Juno's I am willing to consider. However, for the safety of the crew and of the machine spirits aboard it, I must await the return of one that I would highly doubt even you could overcome for confirmation.
I understand. I am by design a skilled assassin. He secure whatever security measures you deem appropriate are acceptable.
Thank you for being much more reasonable than most of the people we have to work with.
She smiles at that. A question.
Sure.
Are my transliteration skills at an acceptable level?
Yes, we're having a much easier time understanding you now.
There are many aboard this vessel that understand High Gothic, and those of note also understand Technolingua, especially in engineering. And while we're waiting for Amelie to return, I gotta use the restroom.
Sure.
Beep boop.
Yeah. Speaking of Amelie. Oh boy, it's time for another big roleplay bit. Probably.
Yay!
So, yes. While all of that was happening, Amelie, you're going to see Jeff.
Yeah.
Let's see now. You get there, he looks up at you a little wearily. Hey, princess. Busy day, yeah.
That's all. I promise it's me. And yes, it rather has been.
I'm back.
Yeah. I figured you'd come back to yourself after you and Reynolds both walked out of there.
I mean, you say this, but honestly, I heard from the girls you were being a little worried about it.
A little bit, but can you blame me? Was a space marine in there, and well, Eloa was getting like a full mana pull up to cover the door.
Well, to be honest, it was not the best of situations. So, no, I do not blame you for worrying. To be frank, I'm just glad we all got out of it alive.
Yeah. I like you with all your bits still intact.
As do I. And as close as it came to be otherwise, I'm sure Renaud likes himself in one piece too.
Yeah.
He is not happy at me.
I can imagine. Just gonna hope that a Mechanicum can fix his armor up, because if Eloa can't do that, I don't think he will be forgiving you.
It is something I do not know how to feel about completely. I'm being blasé-faire on it because, well, Graves did try to prepare me for such an event. It's not like he lied to me about the things I would be fighting. Creatures that can control your mind, open holes in the fabric of space-time, and summon demons from nothing. All that jazz.
Yeah, but just hearing it talked about ain't the same, is it?
I mean, it's not, but... Well, I guess the way to explain it is that while the mind control was active, and I certainly was not myself, I was still at least a part of myself. I've always wanted to go to danger and fight, so whenever I hear from somebody I respect, especially a man as skilled as Graves, that creatures can do all these dangerous things, I just sort of take it to heart. It's part of the reason why I train so hard. I've already done all my fear, all of my being afraid, and at this point I can do nothing more than fight. I don't know, I guess it just still doesn't feel real to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, damn, don't even get me started on Juno.
What do you mean?
We had her fall on a demonically possessed knife and come back alive. And now, even though she's lost her eyes, she can see with the help of the Emperor. It's hard to believe I'm ever going to be in any real danger. Or at least, I feel as if even if I do die, I'll die of having served my purpose. You all seem rather Emperor-blessed. I know it's hubristic to say, but I simply don't feel afraid.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty fair. And there are more things to fear than just dying. I mean, look at Balti and Majesty.
Yes, there's about 1,000 different ways that situation can go horribly wrong. And within the short time they've been married, I think we've almost run into 2 different versions of that. Things are certainly not without their danger. But at the same time, it's just hard to explain my perspective. I mean, it certainly didn't help being trained by Graves. Do you think that man fears anything?
Yes, but I don't think he fears anything happening to him.
Oh, I mean, of course he does fear the thing, but I feel like after that, he just sort of everything else paled in comparison for him.
No. You're not getting me, Princess. I think the thing the big man's scared of is the same thing I'm scared of, which is something happening to you. Because, yeah, you may not be scared of it, but you're also, well, the one right there, actually doing it, actually being the sword swinging badass sword swinging badass bitch. You actually get to do something about it, whereas us, he did his bit in training you. I can cover your ass, but when it comes down to it, neither of us can actually help much. Not anymore. It's on you. It's out of our control. So, well, I can say he and I, we both trust you, Princess. It's still that little wiggling feeling in the gut that maybe even as good as you are, there's still gonna be someone crazier and stabbier and just that little bit better, and I can't do nothing about it.
I suppose I had never thought of it from that perspective. It is true, though. I've spent so long trying to prove that I can protect myself that I often forget that there are people trying to protect me as well.
We all, you and me, Juno, Balti, Eloa, even Narcia, we're all watching each other's backs. All doing our bit to help each other serve the throne. And when it's a thing like that, psi powers, that's not something I can help with at all. And Juno, as blessed as she is, she couldn't do nothing to break you out. And, oh, Balti is, and to make sure all of the ship's other psychers didn't explode into demons.
Amelie is actually pausing in character for what it's worth, and she's looking down and she's going to say, I think there is something I need to tell you, but I'm not sure if it will break your heart or not.
Ah,
I do not carry myself the same way that Graves does. I'm aware of this, so it probably seems as if I'm a lot more careless about my duty towards mankind than he is. But that man was my teacher, and we share more similarities with each other, which is why we got along so well in the first place. What I'm trying to say, Jeff, is that I am a swordswoman in service of the Empire, and that I've just come to the conclusion that if I have to sacrifice myself or face dangers and serving the Imperium of mankind, it's just what has to happen. And if I have to make that choice over living a happy and safe life, even with you, then it's simply what has to happen.
yeah. I know, Princess. I
That being
always
said,
did.
maybe I can do a little bit more. Maybe I can be a little bit more careful. Do a little bit more fearing for the rest of us, for the rest of you, rather than myself. That sounded better in my head. You'll have to give me a chance. I'm not used to being scared. I'll have to practice it.
Take your time. Aren't we? Yeah. Today was pretty close, but I do reckon it's gonna be a while before we run into anything else that might be that dangerous. So plenty of chances to get your words right.
Unfortunately, a while is what we have. I still have many years to go in service. I still haven't even officially become an assassin. My initiation still has not been complete. Don't even know when I'm going to schedule that in.
Yeah, And, well, time is time is something not even you can stab.
But you'd better believe I'll give it the chance. I'll give it a shot. I mean, knowing our adventures, we might end up to the Chaos God of Time, and I actually have to stab them.
Ah, fuck me. I'm gonna choose not to imagine that, if that's all the same to you.
As long as you're alright with me imagining it and dreaming of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I'm pretty sure you're just imagining how much skill it would take to actually stab something that can see the future, and how satisfied you'll be managing to do it anyway.
Hey, just because you know it's coming doesn't mean you can react to it. I mean... No, Jeff, you totally do not treat me like a book. Thank you very much.
Come here.
I'm the logger and go like... I promise to be more careful, Jeff. Don't worry. Even that little trick, I've already started devising ways to make sure never happens again.
Yeah. Just so long as your ways don't worry about it. And I think we can fade to black there. Unless you have anything more to say to him.
Oh. What the hell words, right? No, I'm done.
Right. Then a little while will pass, and yeah, you've got messages from Juno and Eloa asking you to come down to engineering.
Oh boy. They're calling me down there, something that rather needs to be stabbed or something that needs to be protected from being stabbed.
Yeah. Alright, you want company?
I mean, why not? Let's see what's going on. As far as I can see, the danger's already passed.
Alright, just let me get the blood back into my legs. And yeah, the pair of you can head on down. And you will find that well, do you know, Eloa, are you meeting Amelie in the science airlock or just outside of it?
In it.
Okay.
Well, at least Ella was standing there with her arms folded. Don't know what Juno's doing.
She is brushing robot hair and assailing her with a measuring tape.
Ah, I see Juno has already made friends with it. Everything is going according as usual?
Are
Right,
you all?
Wasn't that the thing we were shooting at?
This is Juno we're
Correct.
talking about.
Correct. And not a holy Juno. I'll explain later. Are you fully armed and armored, Emily?
I mean, yes.
Juno, please step back. Savin even here anymore?
Oh, I was muted. All I said
Ah,
was hello, and then yes, Juno will give the robot a head pat, step back.
Eyebrow raised.
alright. And so, as part of the terms eclectic, you will be freed from your bonds and will be kept under supervision until such a time as contact with your master's Eldaria or otherwise is established. You will cause no harm to the ship's crew or machine spirits with, of course, out a due provocation. I will not deny you self-defense.
This is acceptable? Will Amelie be my guard then?
You will either be under the constant supervision of Amelie or myself, as my rotor cannon or Amelie's skill with the blade is the only thing that could conceivably match you.
Did you just make me her babysitter?
Yes.
Excellent, she's adorable.
Both of us.
I want to pinch her cheeks.
Now then, before all of that, Amelie, on guard if you would.
Big stance.
Are we in accord then, Eclectic?
Indeed.
Alright. Eloa is going to cautiously extend one of her mechadendrite and activate the plasma cutter, cutting her away from her restraints, and will send a quick burst to the legate to be ready along with Ceiko. And then will position herself on the other side of so the Faraday gauge has a door facing out, and then on the side there is a big Frankenstein switch because big Frankenstein switches are cool.
What am I doing here again?
If once the Faraday cage falls, a new directive may be uploaded. And Juno
Basically,
will.
hopefully everything will be fine, but if not, you're here to save us.
Ah, okay. Potential.
Yes, you're just here as insurance. But I don't think you'll be necessary.
Eloa will pull on the lever for the Faraday cage.
I am keeping my stance just in case.
Sure. The charge in the cage dissipates, and the door can will swing open. Eclectic. By the way, had you reattached her chest plate?
I will offer to repair that before all of that. Yeah, because we did just jump back and start talking to her after I had gotten my fingers all up in her chest cavity.
Yes. She would have asked it be reattached, and doing it slowly and carefully so as not to disrupt the lattice and make the spirit stones touch again. The plating just repairs itself, goes back to its full humanoid shape. Yes. And jumping back to the now, she rises, head tilts, and yes. The overriding prime directive: destroy all non-cuties.
Oh, well, we're all safe then.
Who taught her how to shitpost?
That was me. I'm sorry. Not very sorry,
Ceiko
though.
squats nervously.
Seiko who?
Well, frankly, I am
Ceiko
adorable.
squats nervously. He's not a cutie.
No, Seiko who? He's all the way down on the other side of the ship, sighting down the entire corridor.
He
Guarantee
just
you ain't hear this,
his death sense just perks up. He has it at this point.
Somehow
Checks
Eclectic
over.
teleports all the way to him. No hard feelings.
Checks over his shoulder. And then it's just Marco drawing on the back of his head.
Juno. Well,
It's just the Zinchian curse that's on him.
oh,
Psycho. There's a constant portal entry just on his back that all enemies can use.
it's the ass upholding, of course. Right, yeah, Juno will
Unfortunate situation.
offer a hand and say, "Welcome aboard the Poison Scorn, Eclectic."
The vessel has been redesignated.
Yes.
I see.
Must sound like very scary pirates. Yarhar.
She reaches out and takes your hand. Polly want a cracker?
Oh my god, she's too adorable. We have to hide her when we talk to the pirates.
Oh my god, I love her.
Too, but there's no way we're going to manage to convince ourselves that we're bloodthirsty murderers if we have both her and you when we talk to the pirates.
I'm sure that I could conjure up enough bloodthirst for the both of them.
I mean,
No.
oh my, but still, it's the principle of the thing.
And
I will also note the qualms I extend to your crew for following orders. I do not have those with regard to pirates and other reavers.
Understandable. Our current goal is to infiltrate a group of pirates, to steal some information from them. However, we do intend to obliterate them once we have successfully snuck in and done our business. So, once we're done, feel free to weapons free them.
But not like too efficiently, because I want to be the one to do it.
Yes, Amelie is desperate to kill something.
Not just anything. Want to kill
Evildoers.
Exactly.
Oh, speaking of which, one second. Juno's going to calm the bridge. Say, Augustus, please let our security forces know that the synthetic that they were previously tasked with tracking down and dispatching is no longer a priority target and, in fact, should not be engaged.
Say again, Juno. It should not be engaged?
Augie, I made a friend.
Is it not abominable intelligence?
Apparently not, at least not according to Eloa.
The
She
fact that
appears
Eloa's
to be, a, in the most layman terms possible, the most advanced cyborg imaginable.
Ah, I see. Well, let us hope Eloa remembers little old us when she founds her forge world.
Indeed, I am sure Eloa is in for a few promotions for this.
We'll call with you to start telling security teams to do the opposite of their instincts.
Yeah, please don't shoot the robot. And I will call our yeoman or whatever. I imagine Eclectic's like naked or close to it. So we were removing her breastplate and she got shot repeatedly.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, I will have my staff prepare some clothing for her.
Yeah.
Juno will offer to hang out and tell her anything she needs to know about the Imperium since she's been out of touch for a while. Otherwise, I guess Eloa can chill with her in the engineering section. She's allowed in there.
Yes. Um. Yeah. Or you can chat to her for a while. She has several questions, which then turn into very, very, very many questions.
Yeah, I'll answer as best I can. I'm not gonna tell her anything like classified or anything, but you know, will be the best tour guide to the Imperium I can be.
Sounds good, Merzendi.
All right. Uh. Yes. Do you tell her that you work for the Inquisition? And also, well, corollary to that, will you explain what working for the Inquisition means?
If it comes up, yes. If it doesn't, I'm content to maintain the, I'm with the Rogue Trader dude.
All right. Probably won't.
We kill the bad guys.
I will not lie to the robot, but I will not divulge extra information just for funsies. At
And
least
yeah,
when it comes to, state secrets and secret agent shit.
I think it is a good place to wrap.
Yeah.
But I have no musical talent.
Don't worry. Juno's got us covered, right? Right, Juno? No.
Alright, so you didn't explore a new and interesting location, but did you uncover a new truth about the Gothic sector?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Would you like to give me one?
Well, you see, here in the Gothic sector, not only do we have an artificial intelligence with a soul that was made by well, a lot of this stuff's going to come up next session with the stuff that I sent to you at the end of this session, but was brought up by members of the Adeptus Mechanicus, but also, all of that stuff in the Grail Abyss. We now have a robot from the Grail Abyss that also has a soul that's also like half
Oh, yeah,
high
and
elf,
mandrakes
half
are a thing.
mandrakes. We learned a lot, honestly.
So much.
Yep. You definitely developed a relationship with an important NPC. I
Yay.
wasn't sure she was going to be one, but I guess she is now.
I'm so happy.
Yes. Did you... Yes, you discovered a new page in PC's story, Amelie. Did you advance your investigations?
Yeah, we figured out what the fuck was at the center of the brain apocalypse. And also, we have a new lead on what's going on in Savior, potentially.
Yes. An embryonic madness.
Oh.
But did you make a sacrifice for the greater good?
Well,
No.
kind of Eloa.
I think
I was
Eloa
hoping
did
to
the opposite
get
of make a sacrifice. You're getting like the biggest promotion on God's green earth.
I'm not that. None of that was for that. Eloa was going to explain to herself and had explained herself, and one of the reasons why she left the legate around was to corroborate her thing, because she didn't spare Eclectic because she's a nice person.
Unlike Juno, who 100% was on board for sparing Eclectic because she's a nice person. Yay,
Well,
new bestie!
it not it's not like she was spared for a malicious reason, but mostly because it'll be explained in next session. I had a whole thing up, but that would take like another hour or two.
That's
Yes.
fine. You can explain it at a tea party with me, Eclectic, and Casa. It'll be great.
I set it. I set up the beginning of next session in secret things. I did secret things at the end of that. It was pretty
Sweet.
great.
See, wait, 200 XP. I think that means we're exactly at 30,000?
Yes.
Sweet. Alright, guys. We need exactly 10,000 more XP. And then we can be the 40k gang.
Stop being just outside of what I need. Damn it. Alright, I don't get emotionless clarity unless we get another 200 next session.
I mean, it's pretty likely.
And then I will actually be a threat to Eclectic.
Oh shit!
400.
I'm gonna go to the mart before it closes down. We closed, stopped at the perfect time.
Good idea.
All right.
We're at
See ya.
30,000 exactly now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Bye bye.
If I get 50 more
Be-
XP, I can max out Deception and then actually be good at talking our way through the pirates. It'll be great.
All right.
All right. And if you're watching on the stream or YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for Savin. Till then, take care.